A world destroyed by evil. Discover the epic origin story of the greatest team of heroes in the history of mystery. Not bad.
Nailed it!
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of The Good, The Bad, The Score. I'm Andrew.
And I'm Collin.
And today we have a new movie to review. We are going to review Scoob, the latest animated film that was originally supposed to come out in theaters this summer, but now is going to be on video on demand, which was out today. So Con and I just both watched it and we're about to give you our thoughts on this movie. So let's talk about what this movie's about. So in Scoob, it's pretty much like an origin story as we see in the trailer, how both Scooby and Shaggy met, and also how they met the mystery team together, Velma, Daphne, and Fred. So we really get to see how these guys all came together as one, and we get this whole montage of them solving the mysteries throughout the years, and they want to build a business now. They want to build a whole network now. But then all of a sudden, they have to face a really challenging threat now. So they end up teaming up with the Falcon, who is pretty much this big superhero that shows up. And they team up to go after this mad scientist, this like scavenger, who's out to get this dog skull. It's like a really powerful source. So pretty much that is what the Scoob movie's about. Here are my thoughts of what I felt was good about this movie. So I really liked the animation, honestly. I liked how they looked cartoonish. I was okay with that. I don't know if some people might have a problem with it, because I know we're getting used to how the animation now in like the latest Pixar movies and Disney films look photorealistic. But I liked how these characters look. I liked the cartoon. It was a very colorful movie. It was fun. And that's what I really enjoyed about this movie. It's a fun, entertaining movie. There's some cool action sequences that happened. And I like the jokes. The humor's great. I do think kids are going to love this movie. And one of the things I do love is the characters. Let's talk about them. Scooby and Shaggy, man. They are a great team. I miss these guys. And watching this movie really reflected back on my childhood of watching the Scooby-Doo films, the TV show. They're fun. They're characters that we can all relate to, and I love their dynamic duo. I really also liked how they moderned the characters, I felt, into a modern-day society. They kind of gave each and every one of these characters, Velma, Daphne, Fred, and, you know, kind of like a new upgrade, sort of. Like Velma, for instance, she's always kind of like the nerd in the team, and she still is, but I really kind of felt like they made her more determined and more fierce, I thought, in this movie. And I liked that. I thought that was a good portrayal they did of Velma in this one. And like I said, it's really fun. It's got heart to it. You know, there's definitely there's some touching moments with these characters, and it really just shows how special the Scooby-Doo characters are. And I thought it was a cool idea to bring them back on the screen. Collin?
Kind of jumping on to your thoughts. I agree with everything you said about the animation. What I think is really strong about this movie is that it is unapologetically a cartoon, both with silly sound effects, over-the-top animation, and just kind of goofy humor, which I think is amazing for Scooby-Doo. I also love the characters in the vocal cast. This is a very all-star cast. You got Will Forte as Shaggy, you got Mark Wahlberg as Blue Falcon, you got Gina Rodriguez as Velma, Zac Efron as Fred, and Amanda Seyfried as Daphne. I think these, as much as most other movies that have like an all-star cast, they kind of just have the cast there to have big names on it. But this is a case where each character and each character fits with the actor, or vice versa. So I remember with Will Forte taking over the role of Shaggy, I remember that was a little controversial with how the original live-action Shaggy, Matt Leonard, I believe, the original Shaggy from the live-action ones would always voice Shaggy all throughout the latest cartoons in the last decade. Now with Will Forte taking it over, a lot of concern was going on that like it was just going to be, they were more trying to fill in big names than actual quality performance. But I think Will Forte was a great Shaggy. How can I forget? You also have Frank Welcher as Scooby-Doo. That's another thing I was really concerned with the trailers, is that Scooby-Doo more speaks normal apparently, like, he doesn't really always talk with the R's. He has a lot more general, like, he just has more of an accent rather than like a speech impediment. While you have still those, like, he'll still have like the rows and all that. I think it was a really great portrayal, because this is Shaggy and Scooby's movie, and it's all about their friendship and how Shaggy has insecurities about his place in life and all that, which I think is a very good message to show kids that no matter if you're feeling down, you always have a purpose in life. And like you're saying, Andrew, I love the fact that they upgraded these characters. Before, Daphne was always the damsel in distress, like the kind of hot-headed, like bimbo-y, like hot girl. Fred was always like the kind of muscular jock, and then Velma was always the kind of geeky, like, where's my glasses? That is, well, they have updated those to where Velma is a very strong intellect. Daphne is just a sweetheart, and then Fred he's still a jock, but he still has a little bit bumbly, just kind of, he's going along with the ride, trying to lead the group and all that. And then finally, one thing I appreciate about this movie is that if you have just watched the trailers for this movie, they only cover the first 30 minutes. So after a while, I really was into the story, like, okay, what's going to happen next? Who knew what surprise characters are going to come up? And I thought it was really good. Another thing I want to point out before I throw it back over to you, Andrew, is how apparently this movie is supposed to kickstart the Hanna-Barbera universe, where they're building a world of all of Hanna-Barbera's characters into their own movies, and not like an Avengers style, but just like kind of like a universe of these characters that they can interact. I think this is a great kickstart for that, because it's not setting up anything. It's literally just a Scooby-Doo movie with Hanna-Barbera characters that you normally wouldn't have seen in a Scooby-Doo movie. Finally, I liked that it's not quite the form. It doesn't really follow the beat format of a Scooby-Doo cartoon, to where it's always like, who's the man behind the mask? Who's the real villain? There's like a twist villain or anything. It seems it seems a lot more streamlined, and they focus a lot more on the themes of the movie rather than trying to kind of have a big twist at the end. But now we're going to go into the negatives of the movie, and I'll kind of start that off, Andrew. Honestly, I think the intro where they're doing the prologue, how Mystery Incorporated met, I think that is the really strongest point of the movie. It's funny. It's clever, and there's some great lines, and it feels very modern. Then as you get into the plot, it kind of slows down a bit and becomes a little bit more of just the kids movie with the dabbing and the references and like the big set pieces. But I still think at the end of it all, it's still a very enjoyable movie, but it does take a step down in those regards. Also, I will say, this is very much a nitpick. I think that while all the characters have been appropriately updated and they all get their own moment to shine, I think Fred is the one that kind of is the odd man out. He really doesn't have that personality. He just really kind of has like two scenes where he gets to flirt with someone and he has a heroic moment. Other than that, he really doesn't have like, this is his character. He's just kind of there. I would kind of wish they gave him more of a purpose. Andrew, please tell us, what are your negatives on the movie?
Well, I do agree with what you said. I love the beginning of this movie. I thought the beginning was really good. It's touching, it's sweet, it's cute, you name it. It's a really great scene of how Scooby and Shaggy and the whole gang met. That really is my favorite parts of the movie. Just those really soft moments. The negatives I have about this movie, there's one part of this movie where where Scooby and Shaggy have a conflict going on. There's sort of tension, and it just kind of felt forced to me. It kind of felt like it was thrown out of nowhere. I just really didn't see that coming, and I think they should have had a little more build up to that, what caused it. But I don't know if there really even should have been a conflict between the two of them. I thought the conflict was right there. It was these two characters who feel like left out from the Mystery Incorporation, and they got to prove themselves that they're more than just a bunch of goofballs. They are part of the team. And that was probably my one negative about it. Other than that, I mean, I overall enjoyed this movie. And the one thing I did like a little kind of hesitant, I would have liked if they had used the original actor from the Scooby-Doo live action to voice Shaggy. Will Forte is good. I like him. It does sound like Shaggy, but not all the way. Like, Shaggy's got more like a really like raspy voice. I did enjoy Will Forte. I thought he was fine. I thought he was, good. But I would have liked if they had put the live action Shaggy in there. I don't think it would have hurt them in any way if not putting him in there. So I mean, the title really, I think, what sells the movie and the characters, in my opinion. I thought the voice acting, like I said, overall was good. I do agree. I think Fred was kind of like left out. I think didn't really have a sense of what to do with him particularly. But that's really my few negatives. I mean, this movie does go at a good pace. It doesn't slow down for 1 second. It keeps itself going. If they do continue to make a sequel, which I have a feeling they might do it the way it sort of ends, I really want to just see these characters more together. That's how I always see the Scooby-Doo characters. But this is more of a Scooby and Shaggy movie. So, Collin, let's give our scores here. So I think your score, Collin, I think you're going to give this... I think you're going to give this a 7.5 out of 10.
I was really worried about this because normally I always try to stick to nice digits, but in this case, I really honestly, I think this is a really good movie, especially for kids. Judging this, at the end of it all, this is a kids movie. This isn't the movie that's supposed to cater to the longtime fans. It's mainly trying to get kids to like Scooby-Doo again. And then on the side track, on the back end, the secondary purpose is to still entertain the fans. Well, I think it definitely, this is an amazing movie for kids to watch. It's so funny. There's a lot of heart to it. It's not very cynical. Like when we were saying how the Mystery Inc. get separated, it's not like the other team members are the ones to say, yeah, you have no purpose. They're defending him. I love the way that the team comes together, and I think this is a great kids movie. And even going past that as a kids movie, it's not a dumb kids movie. It's still fun. Even for adults like us, it still has some great moments. So yeah, I am going to give this movie an 8.5 out of 10.
Nice.
Now, Andrew, I think you're probably going to give it the same score. I'm going to say you're going to give it an 8 out of 10.
All right, yeah, so going further, I really enjoyed this movie. I thought this movie was a lot of fun. And one thing, as we're talking about this more, one of the things I do like about this movie compared to the live-action Scooby-Doo is the humor. The humor is a lot better. It's, because back in the original, Scooby-Doo movies, there was some really dumb humor in it. There's, a lot of burping and farting and, all this, crazy, just goofy humor that was kind of a little bit over the edge, and I thought the humor in this movie was really good. It's got a very innocent humor that this movie plays out, and I love that concept. And I do think overall it's an innocent movie to begin with, and I thought they did a good job with the characters. And I was more impressed with how they really moderned these characters from the 60s to now make them adapt into the 21st century. So I thought they did a really good job doing that, and I would love to see more if they will make a sequel, which I think they will. And kids will love this movie. I think it's great for the whole family. So I'm going to give this movie the same score. I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. This is a solid B movie. It's good. It's fun. It's entertaining. You name it. You guys should check it out. So we're going to conclude this today's review. Thank you again for watching. Please subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, you name it. Follow us, share the video, and subscribe to the channel once again. And as always, I'm Andrew.
And I'm Collin.
And stay safe and check out the movie, guys. Have a good one.